Hi, this is Narz, and decided this would be a good first game to go over. It was pretty exciting. This was from way back in August, when my rating was in the 1600s. My opponent was rated about 100 points higher than me, about 1750 or something like that. I'm not going to go over, just as a general rule, I'm not going to go over the openings in too much detail, unless they're really unusual, just in the interest of time. And also keep in mind that the YouTube limit is 11 minutes for videos, so I'm going to be going over the games much faster than they were actually played. So I might make 2 or 3 moves in a matter of seconds, whereas actually over the board I took the time to think about them for quite some time. I think that's important to remember, because a lot of times, when you're watching a video about like a Kasparov-Karpov game, or Fischer versus Tal or something, and you're going over the lines, the person making the video, or if you're reading a chess book, you might be going over the lines pretty fast too. And it's just, you have to remember that in long tournament games, not in game 30 obviously, but in game 120 with 60-minute sudden death or something like that, you can take 20-30 minutes to find a move if you have to. And even in a game 30, it pays to take 3, 4, 5 minutes to really think a line out before you play it. So, don't think I necessarily found the ideas that I found, or didn't find the ideas that I found, or my opponent found the ideas he found to beat me, just in a second or two. Sometimes, it really pays to take your time. Shoot, even in a blitz game, to take 1.5 minutes to really analyze. But anyway, I'm going to get started. I was white pieces in this game, and I played E4. Come on, I played E4, which is what I always play as my first move. Well, I experimented with D4 for a short time, but my opponent, he plays the French. This was the first time I played him, so I didn't know what defense he played. I played D4. He played D5. B6 is also possible. I've had some really interesting games where my opponents, instead of playing D4, have played B6. But this is the main line. There's a few different ways to play from here. I played Knight C3, Knight F6, Bishop G5. Black could take the pawn here. Kicking the bishop is not a good idea, because the bishop will just take. And after queen takes, pawn takes, knight takes, white will be up a pawn. And after h6, if bishop takes and the g-pawn takes, then black's pawn structure is just demolished, and white's going to have a better game. So so there's 2 possible acceptable moves: pawn takes pawn, and the main one I think more players play is bishop e7. So I kicked the knight. Knight goes back to d7. Again, knight to e4 isn't very good. I'm not going to go into that right now, but it's just not very good. Knight goes back, bishop takes, queen takes, and now I play f4. Just solidifying my center. Pretty much black's always going to play c5, try to break down the base of white's pawn chain. So f4 helps support the e5 pawn. Black castles here. Played bishop d3, which I don't think is Fritz prefers. Fritz is my computer engine. I just have it calculating over here. Actually, here I'll drag. This is Fritz. I just have the first couple moves Fritz recommends. Analyzing. Okay, let me center this again. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, that looks about right. Anyways, so but I didn't play knight f3, or Fritz likes queen g4 the best actually, which is another thematic move in the French, because the black's light squared bishop is blocked. It also likes. Oh, it's changed its mind. The more you let it think, the deeper it'll go, and the more it'll refine its search. So, oh no, it liked this, and it liked this second, and now it's gone back to like a knight f3 second. But anyway, I played bishop d3, which is not a horrible move by any means, but it basically gives black equality if he plays Right? Black plays f6, you know, trying to break down my strong central pawns. Play knight f3. Again, instead Fritz isn't crazy about knight f3. It likes, it prefers me bringing my queen out, or even knight b5 it likes. But I played knight f6. Black played c5, and here I played knight b5, which Fritz doesn't particularly like either, with the idea of putting my knight on this square, and or you know, hitting the rook here. Now my opponent, he could have just played, he could have just brought his knight out here, or even hit me with a6, and if I attack the rook, he can come here and then later push the b pawn, and that would also discover an attack on my knight. But he gets a little cautious here. He plays knight a6, which really isn't necessary, and goes from, according to Fritz, actually, it drops him more than a pawn. It goes from him winning by about 7/10 of a pawn to me winning. Him winning by about half a pawn to me winning by 7/10 a pawn. Now, when I use the term like a half pawn or 7/10 pawn, this is just positional consideration. You can read about that elsewhere on the net. I'm going to move along with the video about computer analysis and you know, what 7/10 of a pawn really means and stuff like that. But anyway, here I played c3, solidifying my center. My opponent played c takes d4. I took back with the pawn. Now he takes this pawn, and I take back with the pawn, and I'm pretty happy about this position. I still have my solid pawns in the center, and my knight actually is looking pretty good on this square now. I'm probably going to hop in here later. Worst case, I just have to go back, but there's no way he can force me back in the near future. He plays knight b4, attacking my bishop. I really like this bishop. I don't really want to give it up. It's really strong, bearing down on his king side, but at the same time, I don't want to waste time moving it. I'd rather finish development. So I castle here.